Hello, this is Brooklyn College's Office of International Student and Scholar Services Town Hall Meeting slideshow presentation on the COVID-19 outbreak and how it's affecting international students. Please note, the information in this presentation is active as of April 23rd, 2020. Though Brooklyn College is not open, the Office of International Student and Scholar Services will be working remotely. You can email us, call us, or text us. The following presentation is based on USCIS, SEBP, and Homeland Security's regulations. Please keep in mind, ISS does not make regulations. We only inform students based on what has already been decided. If you are graduating the spring 2020 or the summer 2020, you are still free to apply for OPT. Students that are graduating must send the I-765 and the OPT request form to Shirma and Keisha. Do not send the additional documents. Once we have reviewed your application for OPT, we will create the OPT I-20 and send it to you through email. Once you have received the OPT I-20 in email, you must send the entire package to USCIS as soon as possible. Though USCIS offices are closed, the adjudicators are working remotely. Do not send the package through regular mail. You should send it return receipt, send it through FedEx, UPS, DHL. Please note, once you have chosen a start date, you cannot change it after you've sent the OPT package. There are many questions concerning OPT and unemployment. There has not been any changes to the regulations as of April 23rd, 2020. If you are on 12-month OPT, you are only allowed 90 days of unemployment. If you are on STEM OPT, you are only allowed 180 days of unemployment. If you have used all your unemployment already, you must be prepared to return back to your home country. Students that remain in the country will be accruing unlawful presence. Please note that there are organizations petitioning to change this policy. Students that were employed on OPT, however their employment ended due to the pandemic, please ask your employer if it's possible for you to be placed on leave or to be furloughed instead of being laid off. If you are on leave, you will not accrue unemployment time. If you were laid off due to the pandemic, you must find employment. If you are unable to find employment, please look for a volunteer opportunity in your field that will stop the unemployment clock. It must be for at least 20 hours a week. You are not confined to New York State for your employment. On OPT, you can work in any of the 50 states. There has been no additional employment given to students due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Your employment period for OPT is exactly what is stated on the card. There have been many questions about an international student's ability to apply for unemployment. In New York State, in order to qualify, you must have legal work authorization and must be able to start a job in 6 months. Ultimately, the Department of Labor will determine your eligibility. For continuing international students, CUNY has created a set of guidelines for students who are concerned about their academic progress. You do have the option for the spring semester to receive credit or no credit for the courses that you have taken. If you receive an A, B, C, or D, you can convert that into a grade of credit. If you receive an F, you can convert that into a grade of no credit. Please keep in mind, if your plans are to go on to other fields such as medical school, veterinary school, dentistry, there might be issues concerning using this policy. If any of your classes have been canceled due to not being able to go online, you need to let ISS know. Students that are seeing financial issues paying for the spring 2020 semester or following semesters, please contact the Bursar's office. They are willing to work with students.
Though we are in unprecedented times, F1 students are still required to be full time in the spring and the fall semester. Please do not withdraw from classes. If you do withdraw from classes, receive a WU for an unauthorized withdrawal, we will have to terminate your CVIS record. Homeland Security only allows for students to be below full time for the following reasons. If it's their first semester and English is not their first language, if a doctor, a licensed doctor, states that the student, for medical reasons, must be below full time for the current semester, if they were advised by someone at Brooklyn College to take a course they were not required to take, or it's your last semester. Homeland Security does not recognize financial difficulties as a reason to be less than full time. Please note that if the fall semester is online, F1 students will still be required to take a full course load of study. That's 12 credits for the undergraduate students, 9 credits, or whatever is deemed full time for your graduate program. Students that are not full time, your CBIS record will be terminated. Students that are having trouble paying for the fall semester, we do suggest returning to your home country. There are two types of terminations we can do to your F1 status. There is the early authorized withdrawal, which means you've had a discussion with ISS and let us know that you're not going to be able to continue. Once we terminate your record, you are given a grace period of 15 days to leave the country. Or in the case of COVID, you can apply for a change of status within the allotted time. There's a bad termination. You did not register for the fall semester. You did not contact International Student Services. We will terminate your status. That means you will have to leave the country immediately or start accruing unlawful presence. You can return home for the fall semester if it's totally online. But remember, in order to keep your F1 status, you must be 12 credits as an undergraduate student, 9 credits, or whatever is considered full time as a graduate student. Though you're not in the country, your F1 status depends on how many credits you are taking at Brooklyn College. Students are allowed to travel during this time, but travel is not recommended. We are in a very fluid situation and things can change overnight. If you do decide to return to your home country for the rest of the spring, the summer, and if we are online for the fall semester, you will not be under the 5 month rule. You do have to let ISS know that you have returned home so we can make a notation in the system. If your passport is expiring, there are some countries that will extend your passport expiration date 6 months in the future. US consulates are closed and are not doing in person interviews, but if your visa is expiring, they might allow you to do a mail in renewal. Please start the DS 160 and see if your country allows for mail in visa renewals. If you've completed your course of study, meaning you're graduating this spring or this summer, or you completed your OPT and you are unable to return to your home country, you should contact your consulate or embassy for assistance. Students that aren't planning on returning home right away because they cannot, you can change your status from F1 to B1, B2. Complete the I-539 as soon as possible to avoid accruing unlawful presence. The rules concerning work authorization have not changed. The only work authorization an international student is entitled to right now is on campus employment, CPT, OPT, and severe economic hardship. Severe economic hardship is an application to USCIS for employment for 1 year off campus outside of your field of study. This must be a documented financial hardship. The application is taking at least 4 to 5 months to process. And being that USCIS offices are closed and there's a biometrics part of it, unfortunately, those applications will not be processed until the offices reopen. Please be aware that lawyers might be out there promising you they can get you work authorization. That is not true. Unless a DSO signs an I-20 stating that you have a proper legal work authorization, it is not true. Always check with your DSO before listening to a lawyer. NAFSA and AILA are both fighting for special student relief for international students. There are some things to be aware of. We are still sending documents electronically. I-20s can be sent electronically. Students that are planning on applying for CPT, you must still register for an internship course in order for it to be approved. If you are able to do CPT remotely, you can return to your home country. For students who are transferring out, please keep in mind your program end date. If you are graduating at the end of the spring semester, your program end date is more than likely May 22nd. You have 60 days to transfer out to your new school. Students who are on OPT and planning on transferring afterwards, you have 60 days after your OPT end date to transfer out. Please keep in mind, once we transfer out your record, if you are in OPT or on OPT, your OPT will officially end. If you are a language training student and you are worried about your F1 status, please know that your F1 status is safe. You must be prepared to take classes for the summer 2020. The ALA program will be in touch with you. If you are a J1 student here doing an academic year, you are still allowed to return to your home country and complete your course of study. If you are completing your course of study this spring semester, you do have a 30-day grace period where you will have to leave the country afterwards. Please look at your DS 2019 for your program end date. There are some funding opportunities available for international students. Please see the list below. The Office of International Student and Scholar Services hopes that everyone stays safe. Please remember we are available through text, by call, by email. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you.